Down below you can see the timeline. Maybe you remember the clip about the camera. There we already talked about the timeline. Here your snapshots are stored so you can continue working and render all of your images at once at a later point. Already rendered images are also stored here so you can get an excellent overview. If you render all pictures at once, the already rendered pictures won't get rendered again. Basically, the timeline is your camera in which all pictures are stored. The timeline can do much more than just storing pictures. It allows you to try out various sets with different settings. You can save the settings and work on them later. So every step of your shooting is recorded. We're taking now a few different shots to illustrate that. Let's add an additional light source. We take a snapshot and another shot with two models. Now you can see in the timeline 3 different snapshots. Later you will certainly have a lot more pictures in the timeline. Your snapshots will have different backgrounds and different props. So you've already taken some shots, but you want to continue trying out some light settings on your first shot. Therefore, you don't have to remove Model 2 and the second light source from the studio. You just have to click on the corresponding snapshot in the timeline. Now you can see how the view on the left changes. There is now a preview of the picture displayed and also the studio from a bird's eye view. Below, you have then the possibility to open the preview and load the set. If you use already existing settings and you just alert the setting, you might save a lot of time, rather than starting the setting completely from scratch. To open the photo viewer, you can simply double-click on an image and you'll see a larger view of the image. Don't worry that the picture looks like this. It is because we haven't rendered it yet. The photo viewer shows you a large view of your shots, but most important, it helps you to prepare your set plan. In the photo preview, you can edit all the essential informations which will be written on the set plan later. You can customize your set plan by editing the title, name of the photographer and of the client. The fields, title, photographer and client are already filled in, but of course you can change these settings to your own preferences. In our example, we inserted the name of the model Tina. Another advantage is that you can write some important notes which you want to remember at a later point. In the preview, an overview of the top view and your set list is shown. By the way, you can edit several set plans in a row. You can do this by simply clicking with the arrow keys through your timeline and fill in the appropriate fields. You don't have to save the photo viewer. The changes are saved automatically in the timeline, but at the end you have to save the entire project. Before you export your set plan, you have to specify whether you want the whole room depicted on your set plan or just the needed area. Best is to set the 0 point at the top left of the area. The 0 point is the starting point to orientate yourself on the dimensioning grid. The dimensioning grid shows you how you should set up your light settings later. Last but not least, click on Create PDF and you will get a file with all the information and data for your shooting. But before you export your pictures, you should render them. By doing this, the depiction of the pictures on the set plan will be much better. Snapshots, which you don't need, can easily be deleted by selecting them in the timeline and clicking the delete key. This can be done very quickly with the multiple selection in the timeline. By clicking Render all snapshots in the timeline will get automatically rendered.